dragon woman had believed she was the last living being on the forgotten planet, until the day she met a human. The world was catalogued as KX-119, though it no longer appeared on modern navigation charts. Its orbit was unstable, circling a dim orange dwarf star barely strong enough to keep the atmosphere from freezing solid. Long ago, a survey probe had labeled it unremarkable and moved on. But life had endured. She moved across the black basalt plains on 4 powerful limbs, her wings folded tightly against the relentless winds. The settlers who engineered her species had once called them drainids, a careless nickname borrowed from ancient mythology. In truth, there was nothing mystical about her design. Her bones were formed from a hollow carbon lattice, light yet unbreakably strong. Her membranous wings functioned as thermal regulators. Her layered scales acted as heat exchangers, absorbing solar radiation during the day and releasing it slowly through the frozen nights. Her name, translated imperfectly into human speech, would have sounded like Seraph. For 212 planetary cycles, Seraph believed she was alone. The ruins confirmed that belief. Metallic skeletons of habitats lay half-buried in iron dust. Silent fusion towers pierced the skyline. Radiation signatures had faded to background level centuries ago. Whatever civilization had engineered her kind had vanished long before her hatching. She survived through instinct and inherited memory, genetic instructions encoded by designers who had never returned. Hunt the glider beasts in the upper thermals. Drink from geothermal vents. Avoid the equatorial storms. And wait. She did not know what she was waiting for. Only that deep within her neural architecture, something unfinished insisted on patience. The object appeared at twilight, a streak of controlled fire descending through the atmosphere. Not a meteor. Too slow. Too deliberate. Seraph watched from a ridge as retrothrusters carved glowing scars across the sky. The craft landed upright, scattering dust for kilometers. Her first reaction was not curiosity. It was recognition. Something in her cognition aligned symmetry, manufactured alloys, purposeful motion. Creators. She approached cautiously. The vessel was small, sized for a single occupant. Its hull bore micrometeorite scars and patchwork repairs. A hatch opened with a hiss that echoed across the empty plane. A human stepped out. He wore a radiation-bleached pressure suit. His movements were slow, careful, as if even gravity surprised him. Sensors extended from his helmet, sweeping the horizon until they fixed on her. He froze. She unfolded her wings slightly, balancing her mass. Heat shimmered along her scales as her metabolic systems adjusted. For several long seconds, neither moved. Then his external speaker crackled. I wasn't told it was megafauna. His voice trembled. Not with aggression, but awe. Seraph tilted her head. Dormant language recognition modules reactivated painfully inside her mind. Fragmented linguistic frameworks assembled from buried data. Human, she said, forcing unfamiliar sounds through vocal cords never meant for speech. The man staggered backward. That's impossible. Communication came slowly after that. His name was Elias Chun, a deep-range surveyor searching for lost colonial routes erased during an ancient network collapse. KX-119 had appeared only as a gravitational anomaly worth investigation. He explained that humanity had once abandoned thousands of experimental colonies during a chaotic era of expansion. Records were incomplete. Many worlds were presumed failures. Colony, Seraph repeated carefully. Where are the others? Chun hesitated. His visor darkened, hiding his eyes. There are no signals here. No infrastructure left. Whatever happened, it was a long time ago. They walked together toward the ruins, past skeletal laboratories and shattered hatcheries. Chun's instruments flared with activity, genetic fabrication chambers, artificial womb arrays, atmospheric processors designed to stabilize a failing biosphere. This wasn't a settlement, he realized aloud. It was a bioforming experiment. Seraph watched him scan a collapsed data pillar until ancient circuits flickered briefly to life. Text fragments translated across his visor. Chun went still. What? She asked. He hesitated, but her gaze held him. You were meant to build a civilization, he said quietly. You were phase 3. She waited. Engineered apex organisms. Self-sustaining predators designed to regulate an artificial ecosystem after human crews departed. Adaptive intelligence but limited reproduction. The colony would return once the biosphere stabilized. Return, she repeated. They never did. Deeper logs revealed centuries-old dates. Emergency transmissions. resource shortages, evacuation orders. A final note, project terminated. Planetary instability exceeds projection models. The wind howled through broken towers. Seraph felt her inherited memories rearranging. Instincts she had never questioned suddenly felt artificial. The waiting cycles, the territorial patrols, behaviors without purpose. She was not the last survivor of a lost civilization. She was its unfinished tool. Chun removed his helmet despite protocol, breathing the filtered planetary air. Tears formed instantly in the cold wind. "You've been alone this entire time," he whispered. She studied him carefully. Fragile bones, inefficient thermoregulation, a creature unsuited for this world without machines. He gave a faint smile. "Not alone. Now there's a human here." But his instruments continued recording atmospheric decay curves, orbital instability projections, rising seismic stress beneath the crust. The planet was dying. Slowly, inevitably. Chun understood before she did. The designers had abandoned the project because the world itself could never be saved. Seraph looked toward the dim stars hanging above fractured mountains. For the first time, her predictive cognition extended beyond survival. "How long?" she asked. He did not answer immediately. "Not long enough," he finally said. She absorbed the truth without visible reaction. Her species had never been designed to fear death, only inefficiency. Yet something new emerged within her, awareness beyond function, meaning beyond survival. She had waited centuries for creators who would never come. Now one human had arrived only to witness the end. Above them, Chun's ship silently calculated fuel reserves, insufficient for 2 passengers of her mass. He realized it. So did she. Seraph folded her wings and turned toward the horizon, watching the dying light fade across the basalt plains. For the first time since her hatching, she understood her purpose clearly. Not to survive, but to ensure that something, anything, remembered she had existed. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.